Hey, it's Jerry Archer in the KX Country Clubhouse, and another special guest. We open the door virtually and welcome him in. I wish we could be together. Aaron is here from Washboard Union. Ho, ho, ho! You, this is wearing a mask to the nth degree here. You've really taken those protocols.
Well, if you're gonna wear a mask, you might as well go all the way, Jerry. So,
Well, you're the one guy that doesn't need a mask. I mean, good Lord. If I were that good looking, I'll tell you, I'd never wear
hang
one.
on, I got fluff in my mouth. Hang on a second. Okay, got it.
See, now, who knew we would ever use that term in 2020? I got fluff in my mouth, but it's been a crazy year. First of all, most importantly, how are you and your family? Everybody staying safe?
Yeah, I mean, to say the least, it's been a strange year. Gosh, I miss all of you guys. Seeing you, normally by now we would have seen you a number of times for singles at the radio and just for events, and as well as just touring. But of course, all that has come to a standstill. And yeah, but I'm trying to see the silver lining, I suppose. And I think that's what has been the biggest driving force for me, is seeing people's sort of creativity and ingenuity and ability to see the brighter side of this right now. Everyone's going through it, so no one can say, hey, I've had a bad day, because everyone's having the same bad day. But it's how you're handling it and what you're doing with it and what your attitude is during it. So I've really gained inspiration from hearing people and seeing what they do, and trying to use that more in my own life and say, hey, look, the glass is half full. There is a silver line to this, and it's spending some more time with family and kind of getting back to the simpler sort of way of things, mixed with this crazy need to have more technology and better, faster, stronger, that kind of thing. So it's been a really interesting dichotomy.
You raised a good point about the way people have been able to adapt. The whole world has adapted, but your own little world, music, maybe talk about some of the ways that the music industry has adapted. I know that people can get together. You've always been able to do that virtually, but what has it changed for you and the other guys in the band?
I think it was very, very clear to me. It was the end of August, very first week of September. And we had planned to do a show to about 35,000 people. Summer festival, we all know the shows, but instead we were doing a show to 50 people, and it was an acoustic thing in a suburb of Vancouver called Fort Langley. And it was that moment that I realized the difference between what was going on as far as the audience goes. But I also realized how important it was to those 50 people, and how important it was for us to play in front of people, even if it was 50 people. And it just went to show the magic of music, and what that can make people feel, what that can make the musicians feel by having it heard by others and just have it in the air, as well as the sound of three-part harmony and what that kind of does to the ears. And it was a very telling story. It was a telling sort of moment for me, knowing that music has a very important place in the human beings that we are, and it's actually an essential service as well, in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you've highlighted some of the ways that people, relate to you as a group. Has it changed the way that you're communicating with each other? Obviously, you do have to keep your distance. What musically has been able to happen for the group?
Well, we've been able to do some what we call them quarantine sessions, which is how we've been able to sort of uh, uh, provide some online content, I suppose, and online acoustic versions, because we're not in the same cities. So we had to find some way to get that together. So quarantine sessions was our answer to that. We did manage to get on a small acoustic tour, which sort of the second wave of the pandemic chased us a little bit. So by the time we got home, we basically couldn't have done the tour, even if we wanted to at that point, because of restrictions. So it was kind of like being chased by a storm. But other than that, we've just been focusing. We were really lucky. We released an album just in the beginning of the pandemic, so we have a
Yeah.
lot of material to do and a lot of excitement around that body of music. And so we made 2 music videos, and we're just kind of getting creative and thinking about new ways to do this. It's sort of like the book opened at the start of the pandemic, and we also had a brand new album out as well. So it's like this album has grown with the pandemic.
Yeah, the album was Everbound, and of course you've had some singles off of that, Country Thunder and Dock Rock, which was a great song for the summertime. People, were able to escape to cottage country, at least here in Ontario, and I'm sure, in your neck of the woods. Um,
Yeah.
the Country Thunder, yeah, there you go,
We
right?
just got the physical copies, if you can even believe it. This is
Just
the,
now.
the 3rd time I've held this in my hand. The
Wow.
second was to send them to my mom. The first time was the first time I opened the package. So there you go.
Terrific. The Country Thunder, of course, everyone talked about that video, the puppets. I guess, is that the correct word? Puppets? I don't want to call them dummies. We
No,
don't
we
want to
get
use
that
that.
enough. We get that enough, Jerry. Thanks.
But you're using them again. This could be an ongoing thing for you for the Christmas special. Is that not right? You've got "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" part of your special.
Yeah, that's right.
The Christmas special. Now, the ones I've seen, artists do this. They put out country specials. They're usually an hour long. Yours is 2 hours, which means it's probably twice as good. Am I correct?
I think the math works out.
Yeah. So you've got some special guests on there as well. Tell us about some of the people that you're, having on the show.
Yeah, that's a really exciting thing that we're doing right here. We've never done this before, so this is sort of new charted territory for us, or uncharted territory. But we've got our friends Old Dominions, who we went touring with Old Dominion, so they've agreed to do a little interview with us and talk about Christmas. We've got Dean Brody, we've got the Hunter Brothers, we've got Tennille Towns, which is really cool. So we're just going to sit down with them and have a great chat, and play some of our favorite songs, play some of their favorite songs, and also have a little appearance by the puppets. And so the puppets will actually be reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" with some of the special little people in our life, the kids.
So they're puppet kids. They're kid puppets.
Well, the puppets are puppets, but the kids are kids. But the puppets and the kids are reading together, so it's a bit of a kid puppet stew.
What a great way to connect with some younger, or maybe newer fans too. When you have puppets, the kids seem to. There's such an innocence, don't you think, when when you have characters like that, puppets?
Yeah, it's sort of a surreal thing. I've always loved. I've always been a fan of Muppets and the Dark Crystal and those kind of movies that you just get into this world, and it's like you have to suspend your belief about the fact that they are puppets. But once you do, it just takes you into this other world, and I love it. So I'm really glad that we could do that.
I'll be the old guy in the balcony on the Muppets. Remember the 2 old guys? What is the correct term? Is it Muppets or puppets? What do we?
Well, from my understanding, Muppets are a very specific type of puppets. So puppets is what we call that. I guess we got to figure out our own mullets is taken.
Yeah.
What Wushits? Anyways, we'll work on that. Get back to you.
Whatever the official one is. It's such a great endearing thing that you're doing. A lot of artists are already putting together plans for 2021 for getting out back on the road, music. What is your plan? Because we're getting close to 2021. What's the plan for Washboard Union? Other than winning the 4th group or duo of the year at the CC. Holy cow.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Well, you know what? We've been waiting for this for over a year, just coming up to a year now. But with hopefully the vaccine and that kind of stuff ends up working itself out, and we can get back together next summer. That's the hope. We've rebooked basically all the tours and all the festivals that we would have done last summer for this next summer. So now this next summer is looking jam-packed because we've also added other dates. So fingers crossed all goes well with the vaccine and that we're actually allowed to get together and have some music. It'll be an amazing new 2021. Amazing.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself during this pandemic? I used to paint oil painting, and now I'm back into that. Is there something you do to pass the time, if you have any time on your hands?
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple kids, and so it's been just really great to sort of see, get into their world. You know, whether it's doing renovations on the house, or you know, painting, or you know, making this little thing. It's just, there's no, oh, I don't have time to build that thing right now, because I do have time. I got the time right now to build that. And so just getting into the workshop and sort of showing them how to build things or fix things. And I've been doing a lot of cooking. My daughter is just loving cooking right now. So she sits up on the counter, and I've been baking. I've been, you know, making some, you know, different dishes, and having fun with that. So yeah, other than that, it's been a challenge to get back in the pool for me. I'm a really big swimmer. So this summer I swam a lot in the ocean, and now finding a pool that I can do that in is a little bit more difficult, but I'm getting that down as well.
I think chlorine kills a lot. Hopefully the virus too. I mean, we can move on from this. And I guess good news, the vaccine's starting to hit the market, so we can all get back to some semblance of normalcy. It's just crazy. You couldn't imagine a year ago, you and I think we even talked about it before the album came out. And nobody would have seen this coming. I mean,
Oh,
it's been a crazy year.
it came out of nowhere. It caught everyone by surprise. It was amazing.
Going forward now, do you think the music industry as a whole has changed, and will it stay changed for the better, do you think? Is it possible to even determine that?
It's a great question. Um, I think from my experience so far, I think a lot of the like the Zoom calls, and the ability to have a conversation and get business done without sort of needing to travel someplace to get there is here to stay. I think it has been proven that we can, you know, we don't have to go to sort of Texas to have a meeting. We can have that meeting online, and it'll be perhaps even more effective than being there in person, and more cost effective. So I think there's savings there, as well as just convenience. So I think those things are definitely here to stay. Um, what's really cool is that nothing's really changed in the recording aspect. People still love music. People still want to listen to recorded music, and they still want to listen to live music. So I think that part seemed like it could probably go away, but is actually definitely here to stay and will always stay. So that is something that is, I think, cemented in people's heads and minds, including my own.
Well, I
Um,
know that, Washboard Union is here to stay. You've proven yourself time and time and time again, and the music is always, A plus. And we always love talking with all of you. It's always a pleasure. You're always very, forthcoming, and you're always just super nice to us. And we can't thank you enough for everything you've done. And keep cranking out the hits, because it's good. If we don't have the music, the radio suffers too. So thank you for being there for us.
oh, that's really kind. Thank you so much, Jerry. I really appreciate that. We miss you dearly.
Yeah. Well, we miss you guys too. KX Country Clubhouse. Aaron, thank you from Washboard Union, and stay safe. Have a great Christmas and happy holidays to you and your family. Appreciate it, and the other guys too.
Thanks so much. I'll pass that on, and Merry Christmas to all of you and your listeners.